This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11 tonight, bulldozers tearing down tents and hauling away belongings at a homeless camp along the White River. The city says it's a cleanup operation that will ultimately keep people safe. RTV6's Graham Hunter shows you how people living in this encampment are dealing with the loss of the only place they can call home.
Folks who live here tell me the city came out and bulldozed the first 20 feet of this encampment where some people have lived for years. They tell me they were told they have to leave by the end of the day. This video was captured by Bill Levin.
This was somebody's house. That was their garden.
City crews working on White River Parkway just north of Morris Street.
This man here is watching his house get destroyed.
The city says it has to happen because the shelters, along with trash buildup and illegal dumping, are a threat to the levee that makes up that area, an essential flood protection structure for the city.
Grabbing the last few things out before the city destroys everything.
In that video, you see a man darting in underneath some heavy equipment to try and grab something out.
Had to hurry up and get all the stuff. If not, it would have just been thrown away.
Luke Walker was there when it happened.
I ain't been there alone, but for people that been here for years, you know, this is their home.
Walker recently lost his home and has health issues that make full-time work tough. He's working with city organizers to get himself into new housing soon and says he understands why the city had to do some of the cleanup.
Just like at your house, you're going to clean your yard, you're going to take care of your trash, you ain't going to leave it just sit.
But he says...
But they could have went about it another way. We could have helped clean it up.
A city spokeswoman says people living there were given 2 weeks' notice this day was coming and offered services, storage of belongings, and shelter options.
Bottom line is you're another human being who's living outside.
Bill Levin is the leader of First Church of Cannabis in Indianapolis and frequently works with people affected by homelessness. He was there this morning.
A friend of ours who lives on the street want to make sure his house didn't get bulldozed.
Levin says one gentleman has lived there for 7 years, and for him, leaving would cause severe anxiety. He has a garden and shelter, and there's concern he'll be forced to leave.
Everybody does got to be out of there by the end of the day. This is a dog and pony show they've done before.
City officials didn't answer our question when we asked when or if everyone would be required to leave. Reporting from downtown Indianapolis, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Well, the city is working on an initiative to raise $4 million for permanent housing for people experiencing homelessness. We asked Mayor Joe Hogsett about the plan tonight at a safety walk on the northeast side.
The path that we have embarked on as a city with a housing first strategy and permanent supportive housing is a long-term strategy that I think will pay dividends as it relates to those who find themselves chronically homeless.
The city has also started a program last month that pays people experiencing homelessness about $10 an hour to pick up trash in the downtown area. Participants told RTV6 it's given them a positive outlook for the future. If you have a problem and feel like you have nowhere else to turn, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. It's a beautiful night to be outside on Monument Circle with temperatures in the upper 70s and even 80s in some spots. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts is tracking more hot and humid days ahead. Kyle.
Yeah, Mark, it is starting to look and feel like summer here across central Indiana. Those temperatures tonight largely in the 70s. Muncie, though, still holding on to those lower 80s while you're at 76 in Greencastle. Storm Team 6 radar is fairly quiet here in central Indiana. You don't have to go too far to find some showers and thunderstorms, but they're all around us and will pretty much stay that way, both moving off toward the east here along the Ohio River and then far northern portions of Indiana. So really expect it to be a pretty quiet night here in central Indiana with our temperature 79 degrees. We've got that south breeze at 7 miles per hour. Temperatures not going to cool too much now that we're getting a little more of that humidity in the air. Lows in the upper 60s to around 70, and that muggy meter is going to be running very high. In fact, we'll get to some tropical moisture levels here as we go through the next several days. We'll talk about what that will do to the heat index in just a few minutes.
We'll see you in just a few, Kyle. Thank you. Metro Police say one person is dead and 2 others are hurt after a crash on the west side involving officers. Investigators say that chase began after an officer tried to pull over a vehicle near North Bellevue Place and West Ohio Street. Police say the officer eventually turned off his lights and siren and later found the vehicle flipped over near West Michigan Street and North Grand Avenue. Police say the driver lost control. Officials say after the crash, they discovered the car had been stolen. 4 kids, 2 adults, and 1 dog were hurt in a crash on the northeast side. Firefighters were called to 38th and Post Road at 2:30 this afternoon after witnesses say a car turned left in front of an oncoming SUV. The crash trapped an 11-year-old girl and the dog in the car. Rescuers freed them, and the girl was taken to the hospital in critical condition. 3 other kids in the car, ages 2, 5, and 12, are in good condition. Investigators say none of the kids were in car seats. New at 11, the battle over electronic cigarettes in Carmel is on hold again. Tonight, a city council committee postponed a vote that would ban the use of e-cigarettes in many public places. The committee also delayed the vote earlier this month. Supporters of the ban say they're concerned about young people and the future.
I'm really concerned more about the youth than I am just the general public at this point, because I see so much of this vaping is going on in the grade schools. We get calls from teachers asking what to do, and I'm really concerned if they don't make a hard stance on the vaping issue, we're going to see some real major issues 5 to 10 years down the way.
Today, a U.S. Senate bill that would raise the e-cigarette age to 21 nationwide passed out of committee. The bill is sponsored by Indiana Senator Todd Young. It would also raise the age for purchasing tobacco products to 21. This comes after a controversial vote in San Francisco banning the sale of electronic cigarettes in the city. The ban still needs the mayor's approval, which she says she will give. One of the biggest e-cigarette brands, Juul, is based in San Francisco. The company says it supports regulating e-cigs but does not support a total sales ban. Many people who live in central Indiana to visit the beach this summer, but before you do, a local mother is sharing a warning after doctors diagnosed her daughter with a deadly disease. 12-year-old Kylie contracted a flesh-eating bacteria after wading in the ocean while the family vacationed in Florida last month. She had an open wound when she went to the water. Kylie's mom, Michelle Brown, says her daughter could barely walk after getting the infection. She almost lost her leg and her life.
They were taking her into emergency surgery to try and remove the infection from her leg. And doing that, they were trying to save her leg. But not only trying to save her leg, they were also trying to save her.
The name of the bacteria is necrotizing fasciitis. We spoke to a doctor who treated Kylie at Riley Hospital for Children.
Luckily for Kylie, her infection and her diagnosis was made on the ideal time. So we were able to, the surgery team, the orthopedic surgery team, along with the ICU team, were able to save her extremities, cure her infection, and that's a big win-win.
Kylie is now back home. She still cannot walk, but after several surgeries and months of therapy, she's expected to make a full recovery. If you get a call from a cable company offering you a great deal, make sure it's the real thing before paying up. A Beech Grove woman is sharing her story with RTV6 after criminals pretending to be AT&T tried to steal her money. Beverly Rogers says the caller offered to lower her cable bill to $60 per month for 2 years. She became suspicious after the alleged representative said the company was partnering with eBay for the offer, and she would have to pay her bill using eBay gift cards.
I thought, I gotta let somebody know that this is scams going on, because I don't want anyone else to get.
Well, the Better Business Bureau says requesting any form of unusual payment is the #1 red flag that something is a scam. No legitimate company will do that. Many families are in favor of expanded IPS pilot program that we've told you about, encouraging students to ride Indigo buses to and from school. We first told you about this program yesterday. Students will get free fare cards and unlimited access during the school year. Amali Zinhel, goes to Shortridge High School. The program started for those students last school year.
A lot of times, a lot of my friends miss the bus and then they have to miss the entirety at school because their parents can't drive them or for any other reason. And with the city bus, it gives them a lot more flexibility.
I've been really grateful that it's even been an option. I went back to work this year and I had to leave a full hour before she needed to take some kind of transportation to school. So just knowing that the bus system's been reliable and that she's got options for flexibility to deal with just doing what she needs to do to get to school on time.
The service is now available to all IPS high school students. The goal here is to lower the district's transportation budget. Tomorrow, Cathedral High School graduates and students plan to hold a public demonstration against the school's decision to fire a teacher in a same-sex marriage. Students and parents tell RTV6 the school's explanation for the firing has been confusing. We're working for you to get answers, taking a closer look at the issue. In a public letter posted on the school's website, Cathedral's board of directors says it had to fire the teacher under the direction of the Archdiocese, or it could lose its title as a Catholic school and could no longer operate as a nonprofit organization. Well, RTV6 pulled state records and found Cathedral has been incorporated as a nonprofit since 1972, a distinction held by the school itself, not the Archdiocese. Robert Katz, a professor at IU's School of Law, tells RTV6 if Cathedral already has its own nonprofit status, then the dilemma described in the letter is not accurate.
That's just not correct. They are a nonprofit organization. They get their nonprofit status from the state of Indiana, which issues them articles of incorporation. And that's separate and apart from their tax-exempt status, which comes from the IRS.
Katz says because Cathedral is already a certified nonprofit, the school does not necessarily need the Archdiocese to get the tax exemption known as 501c3. For more details on this complicated issue, you can go to the RTV6 app and click on this story to read more. It has been 6 months since graduation for some Central Indiana students, and they still do not have their diplomas. Call 6 Investigates has been uncovering problems with the Art Institute of Indianapolis for more than a year. The school shut down in December. We did some checking and found the Institute says diplomas are being printed and mailed. The school says all students will receive their diplomas by July 17th. We'll continue to follow up to make sure that happens. Next, an Indianapolis woman is asking for your help finding a precious memento that can't be replaced. And a little later,
I didn't even apply to this job. I was referred because of Hiring Hoosiers.
Hiring Hoosiers helps connect a job candidate with the perfect position. And start preparing your pitch now. Shark Tank is coming to Indianapolis. Producers will hold an open call on July 16th at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For more information, go to theindychannel.com. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
At holidayworld.com.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
An Indianapolis woman is mourning the loss of her son for a second time. Cheryl Brown lost an urn containing her son's ashes, and now she's asking for help at finding it. 31-year-old Christopher Morton, who you see here, died in September of last year. Brown says she left home yesterday with a small blue and silver urn inside a Kroger bag in her purse. After running several errands, she noticed that bag was missing. She visited Michael's, Hobby and Lobby, and Walmart in Avon, and Walmart and Goodwill in Plainfield. She hopes someone finds the bag and sees this story. Members of the crowded field of Democratic presidential hopefuls took the stage tonight. The first of 2 debates just wrapped up. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports from the debate hall in Miami.
The first debate of the campaign season on NBC likened to speed dating. But there was little love on this stage in Miami tonight.
If you're fleeing desperation, then I want to make sure I'm talking about everybody else with respect. I'm still talking about everybody else.
10 Democratic candidates converging in this critical swing state for night 1, trying to stand out
Necesitamos incluir
in this crowded field.
For the rest of America, that's what we call at home, all foam and no beer.
Each getting just 1 minute to answer questions on some of our country's most pressing issues, including the economy.
There's plenty of money in this world. There's plenty of money in this country. It's just in the wrong hands.
Healthcare.
And that is that the insurance companies last year alone sucked $23 billion in profits.
Climate change.
Our towns are burning. Our fields are flooding. Miami is inundated. And we have to understand this is a climate crisis, an emergency.
And immigration, some highlighting this image of a migrant father and daughter who drowned this week trying to cross into the United States.
Watching that image of Oscar and his daughter Valeria is heartbreaking. It should also piss us all off. If I were president today, I would sign an executive order that would get rid of Trump's zero tolerance policy.
President Trump mentioned repeatedly by the candidates vying to run against him.
This president and his chicken hawk cabinet have led us to the brink of war with Iran.
tweeting while watching the debate from aboard Air Force One. One word: boring. And a tweet tonight from Representative Tulsi Gabbard's official page complained that she wasn't given enough time to speak, accusing MSNBC of showing favoritism towards Senator Elizabeth Warren. 10 other candidates closely watched what happened here tonight as they prepare for the second night of this debate tomorrow. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Miami.
We are working to learn the cause of a fire that destroyed a postal van on the northwest side. This happened around 3 o'clock this afternoon on West 30th Street, just east of Georgetown Road, not far from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The van appeared to be full of mail. The driver was not hurt. The Postal Service says the truck was working out of a post office in the 46222 zip code. If you live in that area, the Postal Service will be sending you more information about the fire and what to do if you think some of your mail was damaged. Zionsville firefighters saved a life today thanks to an alert neighbor and special equipment for pets. A person bicycling nearby noticed a fire at a home on Iron Gate Drive just after 6:30 this morning. Crews rescued that cat inside the house and used an oxygen mask to help her catch her breath. No one was home at the time and no injuries are reported. Dozens of companies are looking to hire Hoosiers with military connections. Tomorrow, Lucas Oil Stadium will host a veterans job fair from 11 to 3. The event is for vets as well as military spouses, transitioning military personnel, National Guard members, and reservists. It's free, but parking in the south lot will cost $5. You're asked to mention that you're attending the Recruit Military Job Fair. For more information on this, you can go to hiringhoosiers.com. Part of the goal of Hiring Hoosiers is to connect employers and employees with the right opportunities, and it's working.
I didn't even apply to this job. I was referred because of Hiring Hoosiers, so I thought that was really, really cool.
Danny Marshall is working on developing the next generation of battery power and at the Battery Innovation Center, or the BIC. The Air Force veteran was working in Tennessee when he applied for a job in Indianapolis. His interviewer remembered a Hiring Hoosiers story from February about the BIC and made that connection.
Through Hiring Hoosiers, with the help of RTV6, we had a local person that saw that, gave us a call and said, hey, I just actually talked to a candidate a few weeks ago that might be of interest to you guys. And they gave us a call back. We got a hold of Danny by phone, brought him up here 1 week, and we're pretty much blown away.
The Battery Innovation Center works with several high-profile companies, including Cummins, Facebook, Amazon, Black & Decker, and Valvoline. You can learn more about the BIC at hiringhoosiers.com.
Most of us enjoying a dry day here across central Indiana. In fact, Kevin Gregory earlier today saw one truck that was kind of kicking up some dust, something we really haven't seen. And those downpours have been very limited. You can see up around Lake Michigan, and I think they're going to stay off to our north. But that's also a theme we're going to notice. They're pretty limited in coverage over the next several days. But where it does rain, it's going to pour pretty heavily. Temperatures right now, mid to upper 70s. There you are, Muncie still in the 80s, 77 in Bloomington, Martinsville at 75. Temperatures, they don't cool a whole lot during the overnight here. We're talking about numbers mid to upper 60s, even around 74 in Greenwood, 69 degrees in Rushville. So a few degrees warmer than where we started off this morning. And your Thursday forecast, again, featuring many, many dry hours. Most of us will not see any rain again tomorrow, as our rain chance is only at about 20%. Your temperatures, they will warm quickly. Already by 11 a.m., we're talking about numbers right around that 80-degree mark. We'll get into the middle and even upper 80s tomorrow afternoon with a very light wind in place. Here's TrueCast for you, 9:30 in the morning. Yeah, we've got some clouds out there, but not a whole lot of rain. Once we get into the heating of the afternoon, we'll see a couple of isolated showers and downpours, not anticipating any severe weather out of those. They should move through pretty quickly, but again, could get a quick downpour out of those. Temperatures warming close to 90 for you in Lafayette. You made it to 90 degrees in the Bedford area, actually to around 92 this afternoon. Many areas going to be just a little bit cooler than that tomorrow, 88 in Muncie and Richmond. But the heat, that will continue to build because we're going to have this area of high pressure that doesn't move a whole lot right through the upcoming weekend. That's going to continue to pump in not only the warmer air, but also more of that humidity. So we take those two things and combine them, and we get temperatures that are going to feel warmer than the actual number. Here's a look at those heat index values Friday afternoon and into the weekend. We're talking about heat index that's going to feel like about 95 or 96 degrees. So as you make those plans for the weekend, just make sure you kind of take it easy out there and keep your yourself hydrated. 7-day planning forecast, lots of dry time here. Just an isolated shower or storm. So a rain chance 20% or less through really Monday. Monday is expected to be dry for us. Those high temperatures right around 90 degrees. And then we'll get a little bit cooler heading into the 4th of July holiday by the middle of next week as rain chances go up again.
We'll have to see how that plans out for people. And
yeah, the big holiday and the fireworks displays for sure.
Thanks, Kyle, for that. Let's go over to Brad Brown. He made a trip up to South Bend tonight. Brad has sports.
Major championship golf returns to the Hoosier State. I'm Brad Brown in South Bend. It's the U.S. Senior Open on the campus at the University of Notre Dame. We'll have a closer look coming up.
Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
And a good Wednesday evening, everyone. Major Championship Golf returns to the Hoosier State this week. It is the 40th edition of the U.S. Senior Open. South Bend is the site this time. Some of golf's biggest names of the past and recent past are hoping to make headlines again. Here's a closer look at our Wednesday Sports Extra Spotlight. Not far from the Golden Dome and Touchdown Jesus sits another gem of a venue on the Notre Dame campus. The Warren Golf Course hosting the U.S. Senior Open this week. Some of the best golfers in the world are giving the place some high praise.
It's a very difficult golf course around the greens. If you miss the greens, you've got all these humps and bumps to deal with. If you're in the wrong position, you don't have a chance. So it's essential to be a good iron player this week. Essential.
The par 70 6,900-yard layout sits on 200 acres on the north side of campus. Charming, simple, unpretentious, but challenging in its own way.
Most courses have a few greens with a false front, but here I think it's pretty much 18 greens with a false front, which means you can, if it's firm, you can bounce the ball up, but if it's soft, it's not going to bounce up.
It's the first time the USGA has hosted a major championship on a college campus.
I always talk to my team about the fact that for a university, it's always something that they're promoting a sport or promoting an event. It's not normally that the facility itself gets the exposure. So in this case, the facility is what's going to be highlighted.
Tony Soros grew up nearby in Granger and attended South Bend Clay High School. Twice an Indiana Open champ, he's ready for a major test near home.
My mother-in-law is a little crazy. She probably won't appreciate me saying that, but they showed up at the airport with signs that said "Sorries." We had a little picnic. All the neighbors had it. It was pretty over the top. And I told her, just calm it down a little bit. I just want to fly under the radar and try to play golf. So it's been awesome already.
Golfing greats and a great course that many will be seeing for the first time.
It's all 205 acres, fence line to fence line, and I would venture to guess you can walk from one side of the property to the other in 10 to 15 minutes at most. So you're going to have an opportunity to watch a lot of golf from a lot of locations.
The first round begins tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Only the top 60 in ties will make the cut for the final 36 holes on the weekend. Tickets for each day are available at the course. It's time for a final break. We're back to the desk to wrap up tonight's News at 11. Next.
$10,000 furniture giveaway, Ashley Home Store.
Tonight, we're getting a sneak peek at one of the most important attractions at the State Fair, the food. New items include this: Hoosier Hometown Hash, 2 grilled hash brown patties with Munster, pepper jack, cheddar, and Swiss cheese. We've got angry pretzel poppers rolled in diced jalapenos and served with jalapeno ranch dressing, and bison hush puppies. They stand alone. If you'd like to see a full list of the new State Fair foods, we have a photo gallery on our website, theindychannel.com.
You stand alone as well.
Right.
Oh, boy. Well, so our rain chances down here. The temperature, though, up here the next few days, highs around 90.
It's going to be muggy. Yeah. A little humid out there. All right, that'll do it for us here at 11 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. GMI heads your way at 4:30.